All right, Crash. Crash.
So
Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Spokane, Washington, in 1980, about 14 days before Mount St. Helens blew up.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
No, I was in, state placement, like from a really early age. My mom lost custody of me when I was about 2.5, 3 years old. Um, I don't really remember the details up to that point, but I've been told that she ran around with a lot of ne'er-do-wells and heathens, you know what I mean? Like we all do. Like a circle of black and white, not red and white, but black and white, like the Gypsy Jokers. And she was pretty busy with that. And
Bikers?
yeah, like kicking with them, being a little housefrau and all that. But she ran into somebody that like had other ideas for what they wanted to do, and he took her on a ride, like robbing banks, robbing stores. And that was the last time I seen my mom until I was like 19 years old. I grew up in state placement in Washington and Oregon. About 30 plus placements over the course of my young life until I started running away at like 11, 12 years old. And then by the time I was 15, I'd run away so much that they just stopped chasing me.
So you basically had no parents ever.
No real family ties. I mean, yeah, there's family around for a while, but they're all gone now, except for my kids. And the last of the Mohicans, I guess.
How far did you go in school?
I actually got my equivalency, and in 1998, the same year I would have graduated, but I got in county jail. So yeah, class of 98.
But so you went to prison early.
I went to prison when I was 20, almost 21 years old. I was 21 actually, and I didn't get out till I was like 40.
What was that for?
Second degree attempt murder. But it's funny because someone died and they blamed me for something else. It was the weirdest thing, and it's messed up too because the details of this are kind of like they caused me some severe harm. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I did something wrong. I did something wrong, but I didn't do. Okay, so I had twins, and one of them died SIDS, and when we woke up, she had like vomit on her mouth. I picked her up and I turned her over, and it came out of her mouth. Now I remember that, and for years they were at me about these injuries and some more shit, and like I was like, what? I would have remembered this. I would have remembered doing some crazy stuff like this. I'm cognizant of everything I've ever done. I've almost a near eidetic memory for anything, even and especially my own family. When she passed, a couple of days went by and they arrested both me and her mom. And after the first arraignment, they separated our case. And so that means she was already trying to tell on me, like trying to blame it on me. What's interesting about this, and what never came to light in court, was that she had other children before I got with her that had been termed FAS or like something wrong with them, like mentally, like developmentally disabled, or they were not healthy children. Like they had other injuries. But they put it on me because I got like a violent past and some more shit. So it's interesting the way this shook out because I took the rap to get her out. Because I was like, well, fuck it. If somebody's going to sink for it, it's going to be me. So I might as well just rock that. And as fucked up as that was, I felt like I was doing the right thing. Until years later, someone from my past who had been trying to go to school to be a social worker and help kids had access to my file and read the whole thing, all the paperwork for court, and then came across other information that disputed what I had been blamed for. And was later like partially exonerated, but at the same time, like not completely granted because they can't just undo 19 years of incarceration. They owe me a lot of money. You know what I mean? For, false imprisonment. But what's fucked up about it is it still doesn't bring her back. And every time I leave to go somewhere, I got to be on fucking like super swivel high alert. Like I'm on complete personal security around people and me and myself and the people that I'm with. Because there's people that love me, that know what happened. And there's people that love me anyway, but there's a overwhelming majority of people that fucking want to see me dead. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. They think it's this, they think it's this. I've heard 50 different fucking stories about what I supposedly did. And none of them are fucking true. None of them have any fact to them at all, except for the one thing, that she's gone. And I have to suffer that every fucking moment of my life in my own self. And then everybody else's dispersions too. That's too much. So now I rock high alert. Like, I got weapons on me at all times. I'm not going to get like ran up on and just not be able to defend myself. I'm going to fucking hurt somebody too, because they're not just going to take me. They're going to take my wrath too. And I'm not selling my life cheap, because I still got 2 other kids. You know what I mean? And I'm here for them. Otherwise I would have just shuffled off, you know? There's a lot more.
Where are your kids?
Huh?
Where are your kids?
They're both with family on their mom's side, because I don't have any family anymore. But my kids love their dad, especially Julianne, Athena. I mean, that's disputable, but Deanna swore that was mine and then took it back, and then it's a mess because we don't get along anymore. But I love my kids, man, and I love all people. I try to love everybody. You know what I mean? It's just, they make it real difficult to be a good person. You know, just tired of getting kicked.
How long have you been in LA?
I've been in LA for I started here when I came down here. My mom lived in Lawndale, so I was in the South Bay. That was 23 years ago, something like that. And I did my 19 years, and then I've been out for 2.5. So all in all, I've been in California probably more than anywhere else in my life.
How old are you now?
I'm 41, about to be 42.
And drugs are part of your life?
Drugs, yeah. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, it's the only way that I can numb myself enough to like not go and lock myself in my room and just puke in my own mouth about how much people bother me. You know, like, I was never the type to be so outspoken to say like, you know, you're fucking pissing me off, or like, I feel like you're a piece of shit, or if it came to me saying something, it was long overdue, because I'll be humble and I'll be, you know, generous and be friendly until like it's glaringly obvious that I'm being disrespected or took advantage of, and then I start getting I plex on it. I start getting bad feelings about it. I start feeling like they're reaching for something, or they're trying to work me out of something, and I plex. And generally, when I was younger, that would cause a situation where somebody get hurt, either me or the other person. So I've always been quick to fill my hand. I'm a small guy, you know. I don't got much weight in my ass, so I got to fill my hand. I don't know, man. For better or worse, sometimes I don't even know what I'm hanging on to. You know?
You're living on the streets now?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get up to Santa Cruz. I got a job up there, and my homeboy's up there. Like, it's like a brother to me. But even that, we got scars too, you know. So like, I want to go up there and work for like a few months, and then save up some money and probably bounce to Argentina or something. Just change the whole situation up, because I'm fluent in Spanish too. Yeah, just. It made my home feel like it wasn't a home anymore.
How do you support yourself now?
Generally, like, I got hustle. I sell drugs. I'll buy a big ass sack, and I'll split this stuff up. And I'm good at micromanaging, so I can hustle really well. That being said, that kind of leaves me out there a little bit. My name's out there ringing a little bit, and I don't want people to know where I'm at or who I am. So even on Google, my account says I'm nobody from nowhere. You know, like, I don't even really have a picture other than in my own account. You know what I mean? Like, that I see. Nobody else sees it.
Do you have any friends?
I got a couple, like, close people to me, but when people get that deep in like your flank, it's really easy for them to stab you in the back. And I've experienced that too. So I just kind of rock alone. I'm more comfortable when I'm just in an open place by myself, you know?
In what ways do you think your chaotic childhood affects you as an adult?
I heard a lot of mumbo jumbo when I was a kid about like, because I took counseling, I was counseled and I had to go to counseling and all that stuff. Like the SHS was big in the foster program in Washington State. So I always had counseling and people I had to talk to, but I heard that I would always have problems connecting with people, not interacting with them or conversationally engaging them or even not being charming at times, but to have an actual meaningful relationship with somebody is difficult for me because I keep so much in reserve and I'm so mistrustful that if I told them how I really felt, they wouldn't be around me. You know what I mean? Or what I suspected. That anybody can do anything at any time. And so that kind of impairs my ability to trust too, because I have to leave everything open to like, this is possible. You know? I can't firmly negate something and say, no, they won't do that, because life's shown me as soon as I say that, here comes the dulo. You know what I mean? Like, here comes the other shoe dropping, usually on my head.
Yeah. We're being handed from family to family to family.
That shit sucks, man.
It's
like,
got to create that kind of...
You feel like an alien in your own skin. Like, you can't even be yourself because every time you reset, you have to be something for somebody else until you figure out that, like, all these other people don't fucking matter, man. You got to be okay with yourself. And that was a struggle too. But constantly going from foster placement to placement and to group homes to even a place called Morningstar Boys Ranch. It left a lot to be desired as far as like, I knew what I was missing out with my family, like not being there. Because I see people come and take other kids out for visits when I was a kid, and I'd be like, that must be nice, right? Like, to myself, I'd think like, fuck, man, I wish someone could pick me up and fucking take me out for a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. But, you know, you age out and they don't give a fuck. Like, once you're 18, you're on your face. I was on my face by the time I was 15, you know? So, just got a hard head, man. I've always had to learn the worst ways repeatedly. You know what I mean? Why not to do something?
Do you have any good memories of your childhood?
Maybe like a first kiss with a girl or something when I was a little kid, or I don't know, like I liked animals a lot. I still do. So anytime there was like animals around or dogs that I had, and that was cool. People were like, they'd be cool at first, and then like, I guess I'm odd or something, man, because like I don't know, conversation is easy. We can talk about anything, and I can joke and be jovial and all that stuff, but when it comes to like real life stuff, I still do the same shit. I still try to joke, or I just climb up. And I process it like a normal human being, but like my feelings are so jagged and weird to me, like that I don't want to feel them. Like it feels like it's like a precursor to something happening. Like you let the feelings out, or you start expressing like, hey, I appreciate you for this, and I really like that you did this, and it affected me in a positive way. As soon as you say that shit gets weird, or like then the next shuffle happens, the next reset happens, and you go somewhere else. So it's just like a stream of faces washing by in a stream of shit. And you just stop looking and stop like trying to be anything for anybody. It just turn inward. But
have you been in love before?
Have I been in love? Yeah. Every fucking time. But like there's been two, maybe three that have really taken my breath away. And you know, like obviously I look like the fucking guy they want to regret, and that's fine. But some of them have been genuine goddesses in the flesh, man, and I've been blessed to worship, you know? But love is elusive, and it seems like quien curso es amor. It's very much a curse to be in love.
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about at this point in your life?
Being misunderstood, or dying before I have a chance to completely give my all to my kids that I still have. I mean, like, we all do things, cut corners, and we cheat, and we do things to like make money. And my purpose has always been like, even if I couldn't be there, I would make something for them. And I managed to do that pretty well. I mean, I probed with a little bit of money. Me and my ex-wife split up. She stole some money from me. She stole about the equivalent of 20 grand from me. And this is money I made on the back of an orphan. Like, this is me doing this. So I had a good little chunk of money when I got out. She clipped about half of it. The rest I kind of invested, and I kept like 10 for myself. I hit EDD, and I had the extra little money, and I bought a badass Volkswagen GTI. I was smashing that around. I got to play around on tracks with it, like, you know, race privileges here and there. I got sponsorship by, you know, some cool companies, man, that build Euros. I'm just gonna put it out there, but my 07 was bad, and I wrecked it, being stupid, doing heroin and fucking with hookers and coming back too late. Thanksgiving a couple years ago, damn near died. And then I got another one. It was a lemon, so I've had two. They're great cars, but like I said, man, this is all shit that I did on my own. Like, even my license, my registration, my insurance, everything. Like, I was completely legit on parole, getting pulled over by gang task, canines in my car, and I'm laughing at them like, you guys got nothing. Like, I'm not doing nothing. You guys don't hear me. I'm not doing nothing. Where's you got guns in there? I know you got drugs in there, dude. I got some weed in there. You want it? It's in the ashtray. I got roaches in there. Go grab it. No, I'm talking about real drugs. Where's it at? Tear the car apart, dude. You know, you want me to strip out? Just don't put me in the back of the cop car. I'll strip out on the side of the road like I'm going through work change in prison. I'll get butt naked, squat and cough and all that shit. Just don't put me in that fucking car. Because I panic, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fucking panic in that shit. I start getting claustrophobic, all that. I can't do that shit again.
How big a part did drugs play in your situation today?
Probably a larger role than they should. Like, it's not absolute, but I get high like all the time.
Your drug is fentanyl?
I like heroin, but I mean, when it comes to like having to like kill that anxiety in myself, it's like a roaring black hole of unquenchable fucking chaos. It takes a lot of drugs. I'll do whatever. Like, I'll have a pile of Chris like I got right now and be selling it and just decide, you know what, I'm gonna do an 8-ball today, and I'll fix it and do it. You know, it might take me a couple times, but I'll do it. Now that said, like, I'm a functioning addict. I can go to work. I can work like that and get a lot done without appearing spun. I'm high as fuck right now, and I'm not all over the place, you know? Just heroin is like my thing when I'm feeling like really depressed and I just want to die. And generally that's what it comes to. I'll get saved by EMTs. Like, I have been like 4 or 5 times.
Do you get suicidal a lot?
Every day. But I don't act on it. I know it's there. Once you ring that bell, you can't unring it, you know? And what's messed up too on that, I went home for a home pass on Christmas one time. I was already in state placement, and grandparents came and got me. They took me to Salem, Oregon, where my Uncle Vince had used to live. And we had Christmas out there, and I woke up Christmas morning early because I wanted to catch Santa eating the cookies I set out for his ass and ask him some questions about why he didn't give me what I wanted. And I found my uncle like hanging in the garage. I think I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, something like that. I was young. And I think that, like, I don't know if the seed was planted that was a possibility in my head at that point, but I realized that he had done that to himself. Nobody did that to him. He did that to himself. And I asked my grandpa, who was a great man, like, I don't even know if he's really my grandpa. I asked him like why he did that, and all he could say was that he was in pain and he wanted it to end. I didn't really understand that then. Yeah.
What emotions do you go through now? Do you get depressed or angry or anxiety or anything?
Anxiety is like always a 10 because I'm always like alert and hyper vigilant and watching everything, and it wears a motherfucker out, dude. Like, bad. But I don't get angry as much as just like I get frustrated, but I don't allow that reaction. I don't give people that reaction or the satisfaction of making me show the monster, you know, unless like my life's in jeopardy or someone that I love is in jeopardy, then I let it off the leash, for better or worse. And it usually comes out swimmingly. I go to jail or I get away with whatever the fuck happened, but usually it solves the situation for a time, you know, or it puts the focus on me as opposed to someone else. So yeah, like there's always, it's either depression, I fight with that all the time, but I find that the medication that they give you for that, it takes something away from your spirit, like your personality. And I'm so much of an introvert, I can't afford to lose any personality because then I'll just become like a complete outcast, almost like I am now, but completely outcast, completely awkward, and like with a bad attitude and depressed. And no one's gonna fucking give a fuck. That dude's a fucking weirdo, man. He's a fucking asshole. That dude's nobody. Fuck that dude. You know? So like it's already treacherous. I can't make it worse by being all doped up on fucking shit that changes me like in a fundamental way that doesn't allow me to have a personality. Now, drugs just take the feeling out of me. I don't have to feel anything. Unfortunately, there's other side effects with that shit too, just like pharmaceutical drugs. Fentanyl, you asked about fentanyl. Yeah, see, I got the dumb, and I would slam that shit, and I kept dying. Like I kept getting woke up, and I was just like tired of it. Like, fuck, man. I'd come back and it would be embarrassing. Like people standing over me with the fucking mask on my mouth, either getting Narcan up the nose. After the first time, they started doing an IV because I kept bottoming back out. I didn't realize that you can't slam fentanyl. I just thought it was like heroin. Nobody gave me the memo on that. So once I figured out that I was falling off every time, I kept at it. I was like, I can get away with it. I can get out. I can get out of this. I can fucking parole to the stars. But they keep bringing me back. Even when I got stabbed, like I got stabbed like 8 times. Something like the size of a K-bar. Like 4 months ago. It was actually in what was it? January? Yeah, it was January 10th this year. I stayed in the hospital for like 2 weeks. Chest tube, the whole jam. And I was just pissed that I wouldn't be able to get my hands on this dude again. You know? I waited 30 minutes to call the fucking paramedics. I waited 30 minutes for this dude to fucking leave from where we had this altercation. And he wouldn't leave. So like, when the ambulance showed up, they came and got me and immediately started working on me because like my lung was collapsed because I'd already been waiting too long. And I guess they arrested him, but I told him, I was like, hey dude, fucking get on. I got something for you when I see you again, motherfucker, get on. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we were fighting for a minute. He swung at me with the blade. I caught it in my hand and I caught another one in the hand. And I caught one up the side of the arm and then slashed on the side. And then fuck, by the time that was happening, I was on top of him, full mount. And he stabbed me in the back, dude. Those are the ones that fucking like damn near killed me. Hit the lung, nicked my heart, like the heart sac. I think it was on methadone for a while because that heart sac was swollen a little bit. Gave my heart a little bit of help. And it almost hit my spine too. So that could have been paralyzed, heart shot, or fucking just lung done. 3 ways. And I survived that shit. And they got my fucking face cut 2 months later. I was so fucking mad. Like this fucking shit right here still got stitches in it. It's not supposed to have stitches. I just never went back to the hospital. I just don't got the time. I was trying to get everything ready to talk to my parole officer about, hey, can I get a transfer? I'm almost off parole. I'm tired of fucking this shit. Like every time I leave the house, I got to worry about like, who's the next punk that's going to run up? Who's the next motherfucker that's going to fucking come at me with some sideways shit? You know what I mean? And some dudes are G about it. They won't tell you nothing. They'll just get off on you. And I respect that because, I mean, there's part of me that dwells within that too. Even though I don't want any of it anymore. That's where I was set for like the first 35 years of my life. It came to that point. And then I realized I was like, man, this is a fucking joke, man. There's no camaraderie. There's no togetherness. There's no unity. There's no, we got you, dog. Don't worry about it. And there's trust. No, fuck no. It's a den of thieves. It's like falling asleep in a black widow's nest. You're just never going to wake up. You know? It's been like a spell of hopelessness, man, like a real dark cave. And it's changed the motherfucker in ways that I'm not really cool with. You know, like I'm not a danger to nobody else unless you try me. Like you really come pursue my life. Then, I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, it's just what it is. Like, I don't want to put out there I'm not a tough guy. I'm just me. And I don't want to be tough, and I'm not bad. I'm not a gang member. I'm not nothing. But I want to be around for my kids, man. The ones that are still here. And that's all I want. That's all I ever wanted was my own family. Just kind of sucks it. Motherfucker never had it. Had an inkling of it for a second, and it was taken. And then I was made to feel like it was my fault. You know, like, yeah, dude, I fucked up, and I fucking was down kicking it with my homeboy, working on his car with him, and we were drinking, and I had both of them in a stroller, a side-by-side stroller. And I remember like being like 8 blocks from the house, and it's in like Upland, Rancho area, and it started raining. And so I started running, pushing the stroller. And I fucking didn't see a crack in the sidewalk. There was like and it flipped, and I flipped over the top, and I ended over the top of, and I thought that it was because of that had happened. And they didn't even believe me that I did that. They thought that I'd like, I don't know, grab her and fucking smash her head off the wall or some shit. And I couldn't believe they were fucking saying that. I was like stunned, like, what the fuck? Are you serious? You're gonna... And no matter what I said, and my story was always that. Always. Not because I'm lying about it, because that's the fucking truth. That's all I knew was that. And they're telling me there's other injuries, and I'm like, wow, how? I mean, I start looking it up, and I see that like anytime an infant's given chest compressions, ribs break, or anything like that, and I'm like thinking, well, I didn't give them that. Maybe the doctors did, because I had to take them. They were premature. Her mom was spun out. They were premature by like 2 months. So when they were born, they were on apnea monitors. They were on breathers in the NICU because their lungs weren't fully formed yet. That's like the last thing that forms is the lungs, because they don't need them in mom's belly. And I went through all these details, and I started seeing there was something wrong. And by the time like it came time for sentencing, by the time they gave me the first deal, it wasn't a life top, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would they do that? You know, like if you really think that I did that, then why wouldn't you just max me out? Because I would understand that. And that'd be expected. And anything else that came from that would be expected. So I understand that part of it too. Like all of it. It's an ugly thing. And to have to stare at that which has mortally wounded your soul and everything that you thought you were and left you in this heap of ashes becomes like an untruth, because it's an archaic experience that nobody else can understand unless they've walked through it. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Nobody. And yet, I walk through it every day. And yeah, I'd love to lay it down there. Just do a big ass shot and go to sleep. But that would hurt the rest of the other 2 kids. So I'm stuck here. You know, trying to be a better man, a better human being, and just a person. And I don't know if the world's going to let me do that.
All right, Crash. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
That's what's up, man.
I wish you the best of luck from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.